Hey, it's Becky from Patchworkers Plus, my online quilt group where I help you finish what you start using that beautiful stash that you have on your shelves all year long with other quilters from around the world in a private community. And for more information, check the description for your link so you can join me and sew all year. Today, I had an opportunity to sew up what is it called? The Crafty Clutch by June Tailor. This is what it looks like. It is a quilt as you go project, which is delightful because once you're done with it, you are actually done. It comes with the zipper. I'm telling you, if you're afraid of zippers, you need to give these zippers a try because they are fantastic. So the zipper goes halfway down the bag. It's got big box corners. It's got a handle and so much space in here. It actually sews up really pretty quick, and you can use your scraps for this. They also give you instructions to either cut your own pieces out of your stash that you have, or you can use the AccuQuilt fabric cutting machine if you have one of those. So let's take a look on how easy this is to sew together. So we are going to open up the package for the Crafty Clutch, which is by June Tailor. This is a quilt as you go kit. These are so easy and such a great thing to pick up because really you just have to follow the instructions inside. This also has information on the AccuQuilt machine for making your squares as well as your strips. So you can either pre-cut or use the instructions to cut your pieces, or you can use the instructions to use the AccuQuilt machine. So the first thing you're going to do is take the stabilizer out, and it looks like this. It is pre-printed, which is fabulous. So they have you cut 1/2 inch outside of the printed lines, and this is what that looks like. So I also cut a lining. This is the fabric that's going to be on the inside of the bag. So just so you know that the back is going to be stitched through the same time that you are stitching the outside, which is a lot of fun. So it makes it so when you're done, you're actually done. You don't have to make a lining or anything else like that because it's all done. So you are going to be trimming this 1/2 inch past these drawn lines. Later on, when you're finished sewing all your pieces down, you do trim it to that line. But this allows you to just give a little bit of forgiveness when you're cutting or sewing these strips on. So what you do is you grab your pieces that you have for this, and because this first piece is really long, these individual pieces need to be sewn together before you stitch it to the long piece. So this is how you're going to have to do this project. You're not working around in a circle, you're just building out from the straight edge. And so I have my pieces cut and ready to go. So these are the squares that will be going here. And then I have my additional pieces for the rest of this. What you will notice is this is marked top edge. And you will need to know this because this is the edge your zipper goes on. Also, these pieces are actually thinner than these pieces. So if you can't see the printed top edge when you're finished, you will also know that it's the top edge because this is a little bit thinner than this bottom square. So the first thing you're going to do is lay your long strip right in the middle. Then you are going to place right sides together your next piece, and the printed lines are not sewing lines. This is the edge that you place your fabric up onto. And so I'm just going to place this right along the edge, and then I'm going to just stitch 1/4 inch all the way from
one edge to the other.
What else comes in handy with this project is the magic seam wand.
So this is just a wood presser because you don't want to put an iron onto your stabilizer. That will cause you lots of problems and grief, so don't do it. So you are going to use this to press out that seam. Now, if you notice that I'm running into a little problem, my fabric actually doesn't go to the edge. So I'm going to have to add something here to go to the edge. And really, even though I'm following the instructions, if you run into this problem, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm going to just add another piece of fabric right here along this edge, and I'm just going to stitch it down because I do need that length. That's too much missing for me to not do this. It just adds another piece to the top, whereas this is scrappy already. It's going to be totally fine. I'm going to use my wood presser to
Push this out.
I don't want to see this fabric underneath, so I'm going to trim this. So just make sure you're not trimming the stabilizer underneath. And now I can continue on. So I've got this piece right here ready. So again, I'm going to kind of push this out, and I'm going to, you can use glue if you need to stabilize it or pin it in place. So you just want to make sure that these don't fold back and get little bubbles. You really do want to push this out so it stays nice and flat. And then you're going to place your next piece down, take it over to the machine, and stitch it in place. I must not have checked my measurements because I am short on this one too. But I've got this large triangle piece, so this will be just fine. You can audition your pieces prior to sewing them down. I might have needed to do that. But I am just going to stick this down and take this to the machine and stitch it again. And I'm just going to follow right along that edge 1/4 inch in. All right, with all of it stitched down, what you will want to do is go back, give this a good press. You can iron it at this point. Just again, don't make sure you're not touching your interfacing with the iron. But you'll want to go back and add some quilting lines to this. And so I just kind of stitched in the ditch, or like 1/8 of an inch out. And I just went around the shapes that I had sewn down. If you want to do like straight lines or a grid, that would work as well. But just make it kind of cute, and do as much or as little quilting as you want. But this is the time that you need to do that, is right now. All right, with our quilting done, you are going to trim this up right to the line that is printed on the interfacing. So it can be a little bit tricky because some of the fabric is covering it. Just do your best. All right, now we are going to add our zipper to it. So on the top edge, and again, the top edge is the thinner of the two, and we are going to use the zipper. They gave us the zipper. These are fabulous. They have this channel that opens up. You stick your fabric in, push it down, and then you stitch along there to secure it. It is great. What I am going to do is mark on my fabric, either using a pencil or a chalk, a Hera marker, whatever you have, a 1/2 inch across this top edge. And this is the Hera marker by Clover. So I'm going to just line my ruler up 1/2 inch, and I'm going to crease along this. This is going to give me the line to line up my zipper to. So you can use a pencil or whatever, just something that allows us to see where to line this zipper up, because we want it equal all the way across. I also don't want to go so deep in here that the double fold is not going to be useful because it will show the fabric underneath. So I'm going to open it up. They give you extra inches here, so you don't have to go right to the edge. But you're going to open up this channel. You're going to place the zipper in and line it up correctly. Then you're just going to pin it in place to secure it. So once you've got this in place, you can take it over to the machine, stitch down right along that top edge, an 1/8 inch, and it is going to catch the back side of this zipper channel. It is so slick and so easy to do zippers. It really is easy. So you're also going to want to make sure that your zipper is facing up because this is where our handle should be, is up, not underneath with the lining. So we're going to take this over to the machine and we're going to just stitch right along this edge and then repeat it for our second piece.
Do you see how slick that is? Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is how close I stitched it down. That is the top. All right, this is underneath. So see what it does? It just catches that bottom edge perfectly. Oh my gosh, if you're afraid of zippers, you need to buy one of these because they are fabulous. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over and we are going to open the channel back up and you are going to stick in the other side. Again, this is the thinner unit, so make sure you've got the right ones facing the right way. For this, you do want to make sure that you are lining up. First of all, you're marking on your fabric, and you want to line up these edges as well. Okay, so the beginning and the ending of the bag, you need to pay attention to where that is so those are lined up, because if that's off, then your bag is going to be all crooked and you're going to have to unpick it. So we are just going to pin this in place. We've got it lined up with our markings. And we're going to take it over to the sewing machine and stitch this one down as well. All right, with your zipper sewn, what you will want to do is on the edges here, you are going to want to stitch right across them to stop that zipper from going all the way to the end and jumping off the edge. All right, with that done, you can go ahead and trim these off. The teeth are plastic, so you should be able to zip right through them. Kind of go a little bit slow with your rotary or your scissors. All right, with that done, we're going to fold these up right sides facing that long, or I guess it's got the fatter ends, the ends without the zipper, and we are going to line these up and pin them and stitch all the way across that bottom edge, connecting them. Going to make sure that you're going through all of the layers and that your fabric hasn't dropped down, because they're kind of flimsy and I didn't secure them. So just make sure you're going through all the layers and stitch this down. All right, with that stitched down, you're going to open up your zipper just a little bit so you're able to turn it right sides out. All right. And then you are going to move this new seam that you have right to the center of your zipper, which will magically align up these large square units. So we are going to place right sides together. These two
sides, and we're going to pin them and take them over to the machine. You're going to just stitch this short length right here. And on one of the ends, we are going to take our tag, or our, what do you call it? Our little, it's a loop. It's a loop. We're going to place this in between the two pieces right in the middle of the zipper, and we are going to pin that in place as well. So that gets sewn down when we sew our sides together. Now, if you want, at this point, that bottom seam is going to be a raw edge. If you want, you could put a binding strip on this, or use your pinking shears to edge it so it doesn't cause a lot of fray. But it's optional, so whatever is working for you is fine. It is on the bottom of the bag, so is it a big deal? I don't know. So with this pinned and with my hoop in place, I'm going to take this over to the machine, and I'm just going to stitch right across that edge. Now for these seams, they do say or suggest that you use 1/2 inch seam. So while 1/4 is okay, go ahead and use a larger seam. And while we're at it, I'm just going to pin this other edge because I can sew both of them before moving on to the next step. All right, this is turning out so cute. Where I had that loop, I did go back and forth a couple times because you really do want that secure. What we're going to do is grab this and pull this pinch out. We are going to line up right sides together. We're going to take this over to the sewing machine and stitch this edge down, repeating with all 4 corners. So this funny little shape gives us a box corner. All right, with those 4 sides done and sewn, we can stick our hands inside the open zipper and start pulling this right sides out. Just push your little fingers in those corners to box those out. This is actually quite a large bag. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting it to be this large. And what's kind of fun is that zipper placement goes all the way down half of the side. So you're able to really open this up. Now, isn't that so nice? Your zipper is totally enclosed. So if you wanted to go back, you could add some binding again to those raw edge seams. So I might go do that. You can still do it right now. You just have to push it right or wrong sides out. But look at that. So this is a Quilt As You Go crafty clutch. How big is this? I need to go back through, and it's got nice shape to it too. It sits really nice because of the stabilizer. So I can go back through, snip all my threads, my loose threads, but that is way cute. I've got the little loop handle here, so I can grab and go. This would be perfect for really anything. Sewing kits or bathroom necessities, travel, you name it. Way cute. Oh my gosh. So there you have it.